Do you ever wonder where gold comes from? I bet if you didn't already know, you'd never guess. Joe here. Thanks for visiting Road Trip Joe, and thank you for watching. Okay, gold. No, this is not gold. This is like a piece of quartz that's very pink. So I used to think that gold was like made, like coal or diamonds, over the millions of years of the earth forming and just making all these compounds and stuff up. And that is not where gold comes from. It's only recently, the last few years, that I learned where it came from. And I thought it'd be fascinating to make a video about it. I know you can't wait. Gold comes from outer space. First, let's cover the basics before we get into the complicated. What is gold? Well, gold is both an element and a mineral, and it's rare. Rare here on Earth and rare in the universe, it seems. If it was just lying around on the moon, we'd be there picking it up, I'm guessing. Gold is bright, with a slightly reddish yellow color, and it's dense, soft, malleable, and highly valued for a great many things. But in its purest form, gold is a transition metal and is considered a workhorse metal like iron or nickel. Throughout history, the question of where gold came from and how to get more of it created some fantastic ideas and explanations. The Incas believed gold fell from the sky as either tears or sweat from their sun god Inti. And then there's Aristotle. Remember him? The father of Western philosophy and science. Well, Aristotle thought that gold was hardened water that was transformed when the sun's rays penetrated deep underground. But he also thought the Earth was the center of the universe. That's where we got the geocentric theory from, Then there's Isaac Newton. The guy who wrote about gravity and his 3 laws of motion? Well, it seems he copied a recipe from an alchemist, which is what a chemist used to be called, an alchemist. And this recipe was for making gold with a philosopher's stone. I kid you not. Isaac Newton was into making gold. And for those of you who don't know, the philosopher's stone is a mythical substance that can change any metal into gold or silver. Oh, it can also cure all diseases and prolong life indefinitely, so it's not such a bad thing to have, I suppose. But Mr. Newton turned out to be wrong about a great many things, actually, and I think this might have been one of them. And of course, there's Rumpelstiltskin, who spun gold from straw. That's if you believe the Brothers Grimm, who rewrote some old fairy tales into some really gruesome stories. Rumpelstiltskin did not fare well at the end, I'm afraid. Of course, the idea that gold came from outer space sounds like science fiction, but it's actually a fairly well-established fact, and one I only recently became aware of. Now, most elements like hydrogen and carbon and iron are created in stars like ours, but you knew that, right? I mean, the materials that make up the Earth we live on and all the planets in our solar system were created from the same stuff our sun is made from. Carl Sagan used to say, the nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our apple pies, were made in the interiors of collapsing stars. We are made of star stuff. Yes, that's true. But it seems that the size of the star is what determines what comes out. And our star could never make gold. It's just not big enough. You need a special star to make gold. During the lifetime of a star, like our sun, it goes through what is called nuclear fusion, which produces the radiation that keeps our planet warm. But near the end, stars run out of fuel. They shrink down and then blow up. That's when all this other stuff is made. At least that's what happens in the bigger stars, because our sun will actually just become a big fat red giant and swallow the Earth up before becoming a dwarf star. Our sun is just not big enough. At the end of its life, these massive stars compact so tightly that it becomes as dense as an atomic nucleus, When nothing else can squeeze into its core, the star explodes with the energy of an octillion atomic bombs. That's 10 to the 27th power, by the way. This is really a violent explosion, and more than half the elements on the periodic table are born when this happens. These escaping elements are bombarded with neutrons, which split inside the nucleus into protons and electrons and create new, unique elements. Iron turns into gold, gold turns into lead, and so on and so forth until uranium is created. Uranium is the heaviest naturally starborn element, of course, and is forged from the ashes of a dying star. Now, for decades, scientists figured it was supernova that produced these heavier metals like gold and platinum. Big stars, big explosions. It's got to be a supernova, right? But new evidence, and I mean brand new evidence in just the last few years, suggests that gold and other heavy elements don't come from supernovas. This new theory says it's neutron star smash-ups that make all of the gold. What? Two old stars smashing together? Okay, you know what a neutron star is, right? It's the remnant of what is left after a massive star goes supernova, but it's not massive enough to become a black hole, which we won't discuss here because black holes are really complicated. But these neutron stars are tiny compared to what they were. They're actually only miles across. You got that? Two stars that have already exploded and are orbiting each other are about the size of Cleveland. That's right, each one of these stars is about the size of a big city. What are the odds of that happening? Okay, so which is it? Is it a supernova, or is it two neutron stars that collide with each other? Well, scientists have determined that neutron star mashups can create about 1,000 times more gold than a supernova. But two neutron stars colliding doesn't happen very often. A supernova occurs maybe once per century per galaxy and produces maybe a moon's worth of gold in the explosion. In our galaxy, neutron star collisions could happen as rarely as once every 100 million years, or as often as once every 1,000 years. They just don't know, but it's far less than a supernova. However, they calculate that about 85% of stars, like our Sun, are in binary systems. That means two stars circling each other, so they are kind of common. But these neutron star events produce way more materials in a much larger bang. So who is right? And how do they know this? Well, on the morning of August 17th in the year 2017, a ripple in space passed through our planet. Yes, a ripple in space, which is kind of cool. Well, back in 1916, Albert Einstein, the real famous scientist, proposed that when objects with enough mass accelerate, they can sometimes create waves that move through the fabric of space and time like ripples on a pond's surface. But it's only been recently that we can actually detect them. The first time was back in 2015 when the Twin Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory detectors, boy, that's a mouthful. They're actually called LIGO. Anyways, they have one located in Louisiana and one in the state of Washington, and they felt the aftershock of a distant collision between two black holes. It was in 2017 that they detected two neutron stars colliding. This cosmic disturbance came from a pair of city-sized neutron stars colliding at 1/3 the speed of light. That's fast. Astronomers around the world jumped into action, and telescopes large and small scanned the patch of sky where the gravitational waves came from. 12 hours later, 3 telescopes caught sight of a brand new star in a galaxy called NGC 4993, which is about 130 million light years from Earth. Astronomers for the first time had captured the light of 2 colliding neutron stars and were able to measure over a period of days just what was coming out of it, solving the age-old question of how gold is made. The spectrum of a kilonova, which is what they call colliding neutron stars, contain the fingerprints of the heaviest elements in the universe. Its light carried the telltale signature of the neutron star material decaying into platinum, gold, and other so-called R-process elements. After 10 days, the light of the event was gone, but the materials it created was on its way to other destinations. And it was after this event that I became aware of where gold comes from. When I read about it, I didn't believe it. I just didn't believe it. So I asked a rocket scientist friend of mine that I play golf with on occasion if this is really where gold comes from. He said yes. And you know, rocket scientists never lie. So think about the gold you wear from time to time and where it might have come from. It's out of this world. It was probably created billions of years ago in a galaxy far, far away when two neutron stars that have been circling each other for millions of years finally collided. Boom. That's all I got.
Break it down to a second, a millionth of a dream. Go, go, go for the limit with the power of belief. Just soak it up like a flower, like a summer field, aching to be healed. Just rain on me. You blow me into space, the power of your embrace. Lift me up the ceiling, up and away. Fly me over the rivers, over open seas. Bring me to this feeling, up and away.
Got my gloves. And I got my pan, my gold pan, the Bati or something or other. Lot. Cost me $3. All right, we're gonna do a little gold pan. Gold pan. Big one, big one, big one, big one. Gotta get down to the little ones. Looking at that placer gold. I'm out here like an idiot. Somebody's probably watching me. I think I'm crazy. Actually, this kind of works. Nothing. Oh! Found one. Oh my God. There it is right there. There it is. It's gold. I hit gold. I hit gold. Yeah. I'm gonna be rich. That is all I got.